Hi friends, we would like you to subscribe and also press the bell icon. Hello viewers, welcome back to Fountainhead Veda. We had a great feedback from all of you. So we have today with us none other than Sri R. Tyagarajan, Shriram Group Chairman, and also extraordinarily self-effacing man. I think when we talked about self-actualization people, it was really fitting in for Mr. R. Tyagarajan, because the self-actualization people do not, really look at things for esteeming, increasing their esteem or respect for themselves from others. And they really do not have any baggage to carry in terms of, say, likes and dislikes or being paranoid about others. They go on absorbing knowledge and keep passing on to the world at large. And even today, he says, he's continuously trying to learn things, and he is as young as plus 80 today. So I am really grateful to Mr. Tyagarajan to join us and share his experiences. I am going to request him to start off whatever way, his style, he wants to share his experiences in terms of, I am going to ask a leading questions, the qualities of Siddhapragyan in Sanskrit. He will say Siddhapragyan, he may know he has learned a lot of Sanskrit in the earlier days, but he has moved on to logic, statistics, mathematics. So he will say maybe self-actualization questions I may try and answer you. So over to Sri R. Tyagarajan. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us.
So go ahead asking questions.
Yeah, good.
I'm not good at lecturing. I'm okay with answering questions.
Okay. Great. So what I wanted to know, first of all, is the self-actualization as per Maslow's theory. It was saying that the kind of these people are grow from ஒரு வயத்துக்கு பசிக்கு உணவு, அதுக்கப்புறம் some kind of a respectability in the society, then the power, money. Then after that they move on to the real self-actualization is understanding oneself, and the great knowledge seekers they become. I thought in your lifestyle I've seen, I think I joined our group in 1988 or 87. Probably I was 30, you could have been about nearly 48, 49 or 50 or whatever it is. Even those days I have seen, I think you crossed all this very quickly in life, and you have gone into self-actualization mode as early as your 40s or something like that, or much earlier if I would have met you. You never wanted to really look at the wealth creation for yourself personally. You never wanted any respectability or a great fame for you. But you have really built this organization as one of the largest, the best organization in this country in terms of financial services and others. So could you please take us through from your younger days, why is it in the genes these qualities are, or you did develop from seeing some friends or associates or your bosses in your career? So I thought rest is over to you. In between I keep asking questions.
Having studied the subject of genetics when I was at the Statistical Institute,
okay,
it was one of the special subjects where there is an application of probability theory to biology that takes place in the field of genetics.
Okay.
I was naturally interested in living things, not necessarily human beings, in living things. Even today I consider a kitten to be the most beautiful thing in the world. I see some of these YouTube things where a lot of kitten, cats and all that come. Extraordinary beauty, I think, is defined by a kitten or a group of kittens. So, living things have always been of interest to me. Therefore, naturally, I chose to study genetics. Today, I believe, and I think the scientific world believes that a human being is created at the moment of conception. You can't change thereafter. You may read management books, you may claim that you have got inspiration from X, Y, Z, etc. Experiences have taught you, all kinds of things are there. But I think the core of a human being, from the moment the conception takes place, when the egg and the sperm merge into one entity and you create what is called a zygote from which a human being evolves, at that moment your fate is sealed.
No.
There is very little that you can do thereafter. No amount of Swamijis and spiritual leaders or scientists or management experts can have much of an impact on changing their personality. So if a person says, like me for example, I would always say that Mr. B.K. Shah was the chief of New India Assurance Company, where I worked for about 15 years or so. Later on, not in those days when I was working in New India, later on, after I left New India, after Mr. B.K. Shah left New India, I came to realize what kind of a man he was, what a great manager and inspirer of people he was. All those things dawned on me later, not when I was in the New India Assurance Company. Not that I did not have respect for him, but that respect almost became bhakti later on. I had respect already for Mr. B.K. Shah.
Can I interfere, sir? Are you contradicting yourself now? Learnings cannot be there with the
I would say the ability to learn, the ability to be inspired by someone is something which is built in your genes.
Oh.
Because the same Mr. B.K. Shah had a totally different impact on another person. There was in fact one interesting meeting where he addressed us for about 2.5 hours. He called about 30 to 40 people who were in charge of some branches or something, responsibility holders for a particular area. And he spoke to us for about 2.5 hours on how to change your personality for the better. That was his talk. I was deeply impressed at the end of 1.5 hours or 2 hours. I thought it was amazing. My colleague who was with me, who also joined the company along with me, a management trainee, he said, this man has been talking some nonsense of these 2.5 hours and all of you have been listening to this. He said, look at the way I perceived was inspired. I said, what he said was a lot of sense, a lot of wisdom, very unusual. First time I heard something of that kind. To him it was totally, blabbering by a person. That shows that you don't learn. The ability to learn has to be built into you. There has to be a gene or a few genes inside your system which will help you to absorb things in a particular way.
Correct.
You don't absorb the same thing. From the same person with the same kind of a background and history, two people can absorb two different lessons.
Right, true. I understand.
So it is an interaction between what is in you and what comes from the external world. That's why I said this is a bit immutable. The genetic content of an individual cannot be changed. And even if it is changed, it will have an impact on the next generation, but he can't change. By making some genetic changes in me, I can't change. It's not possible. So ultimately, you can say that everything is in a way determined. It is not determined.
But don't you think you need trigger points for you to really experience that? These are the trigger points for you by meeting B.K. Shah, and you would have met somebody else. So all this, otherwise it would have been latent in your genes itself.
Happens, All the time there are impact on your psyche, on your intellect, on your emotions. There is a continuous stream of things that are impacting the individual. The reaction to that is a combination of the nature of influence and what is inside the genetic. It's a combination. The outcome is unpredictable. And Swamiji may inspire me to go and dedicate my life to social service. The same Swamiji may inspire somebody else to go and make a lot of money the wrong way. So you can't say that what is going to be the outcome, the consequence or the outcome of an influence over an individual. In my case, it happened to be okay.
But you came from a very, very small town, Sirgari. From then on, how did really Chennai did some influence you by coming from Sirgari?
My father might have influenced me in a negative way, in the sense that if he had said something to me, I would have believed in doing something opposite. But that was in my gene. I don't think I was a very obedient son. Fortunately, my father also was not an obedient son for his parents. But he was extremely successful in life. Outstanding personality he was. He didn't study much, but he achieved a great deal in life. That way he was okay, but I don't think I was inspired by him. The fact that I admire him, but that doesn't mean that I imitate him or his personality had an influence that could change my character or my personality or my emotions. No. There was an admiration for him, just as I had admiration for Mr. B.K. Shah. So an individual is unique. Either he is very good or bad or dangerous. All those things are not under the control of the individual. Partly determine, partly the influences. If that influence had not come at all, the change might not have come about also. If I had not joined New Industrials Company, the time I joined, and if Mr. V.K. Shah had not been the leader for the New Industrials Company at that time, probably I would have been different. What I wanted to do was something different. But then what turned out was something different. What I wanted to do was to pass a central services examination and then go to sleep for the rest of my life.
That's precise.
Theoretically, my intellect told me that it's a very sensible thing for you because you are reasonably okay in passing examinations. You try to pass the central service examination and then choose one stream there, which is the audit and account service, where you don't have to do anything. You have to only find fault with people. That also your subordinates will find fault. You only sign. So I thought I will come to office by 10 o'clock and pack up at about 5 o'clock and then go home and read good things and listen to good music.
Right.
I was interested in literature, not very complex literature, even Tamil. I had quite a few people whom I wanted to read. I could listen to a lot of music.
Right.
I could explore new kinds of music. I was not only our music. I was in the patriotic individual. Even today, I consider patriotism to be a very negative thing. People shouldn't be patriotic. It is to be anti-society if people are going to be patriotic. I mean, a man in sub-Saharan Africa, he is as much our man as a person to our neighbor. I don't think that we should quarrel with our Pakistanis and our Muslims out of patriotism. I don't believe patriotism is a positive thing. It is not. It is a negative influence, a negative feeling that people have. So that way, I was quite okay with anything for that matter. But then, what changed me, I am not aware. I got a job in New Industrials Company. I started doing, I did not get into the Indian Audit and Account Service as I wanted to. Therefore, I had to settle for New India job, which I think was reasonably okay. In the sense, the leisure component might not have been as high as it would have been in the IAS, but still it was quite substantial. I always believe all these white-collared jobs and professions, there's an enormous amount of leisure for them.
Comfort and leisure, yeah.
So they can indulge, as our K. Balachandar went on, become a great player and wonderful person he was. He would not have been that if he had joined a private sector company, is what I believe. Because he joined the Accountant General Office, he had the time, he had the company, he could be giving a shape to his creativity. So that way, where I joined was okay. It was not as good probably in 8 days. It was quite good.
But that's where your first trigger point, V.K. Shah, took place, right? That's insurance business, when you got into insurance.
Yes, yes.
He was your boss then, V.K. Shah was your boss.
He was not my boss. He was my boss's boss's boss.
Oh, okay.
Quite a few levels. He was the managing director of the company. From 1944, 45 onwards, till nationalization took place and damaged the insurance industry so badly, for another 2 years also, he continued in the position, trying to influence the government to do sensible things, and he was not successful in doing so.
Yeah, can you highlight what exactly the qualities you liked from V.K. Shah, sir? You said it inspired you in Solringalli.
I wouldn't say it inspired me. I was not aware of any glow of inspiration.
No, I understood. Okay, whatever word you call it. You said there was a changing point.
You see certain things in Mr. V.K. Shah's way of communicating, way of doing, way of decision making, which you find is different from the way so many other people around him take decisions, express themselves, etc. There is a difference. As I said, every human being is unique, because Mr. V.K. Shah also was very unique. A few things will stand out. One thing was his enthusiasm for people. He would always say, business is human beings. That was one thing which will come out. You know, I was there when Mr. V.K. Shah was the chief for about 6 or 7 years. I think he left thereafter. He took reduced interest in the organization. 7-8 years he was the leading light in New Industrials Company. One thing I could get was you achieve things even in an organization. In an organization like New India, you are being paid in order to achieve something for the company.
Correct.
So you can't simply say, I am drawing my salary and that is the end of it. You are expected to do some contribution to the organization. I could learn, or at least I could realize that Mr. V.K. Shah's emphasis and focus was on human beings.
Super.
Identifying human beings who are capable of doing things well.
Lovely.
And then inspire, you can say inspiring.
Yeah.
In a way, probably there could have been a bit of an inspiration. Because one thing I remember in a meeting, Mr. Shah said this. He said, Tyagarajan is not a Madras team man, he is an All India team man. He used to use the cricket language. He will be in the All India level, he will not be in the Tamil Nadu level. See, that is something which I appreciate. He would communicate to you a perception of yourself which is much larger than your perception that you had about yourself.
Lovely. Fantastic.
It creates a problem for you because you have to live up to
Live up to
your
it.
expectation which is coming within you. I never was very happy about it, but he had that kind of an impact on people. And therefore, and again, intensely humane. Because he was getting extraordinarily good results. In fact, under his leadership, New India Insurance Company was probably the world's best insurance company, not in size, but in quality and capability. I remember, in fact, my colleagues who had been senior to me in New India keep telling me, even today, even after 30, 40 years after he had died, how Mr. Shah made New India becoming present in almost the whole world. I was amazed to hear that in 1965, 66, 67, around that time, New India was operating in a country like Cuba, of all places.
Oh. What?
We knew that they were operating significantly in wherever Indians were there.
Right.
They were in East Africa in a big way. They were in South Asia in almost all the countries. They were surprisingly in Japan where there were no Indians. They were in Australia. But I never knew that he could even be in a place, New India could be even in a place like Cuba, West Indies proper. All over the world, New India had its footprints. And that was sitting in Mumbai.
Yeah.
He achieved all these things. That was something which was, I could admire. I could see, I mean, people like Mr. B.K. Shah, you can't imitate them. You can't replicate them. You don't even learn everything from them. Well, what? You can't learn batting from Tendulkar.
Sure.
You can admire Tendulkar's batting, but you can't learn from him. Similarly, you can appreciate, admire Mr. B.K. Shah, but I don't think he can influence your management activity, management achievement. All that is not possible. Okay, see, one thing I was made, I think it was there in me. I was okay with myself.
That's
I
most.
was ambitionless.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you are comfortable with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I am good number 4 in the class or number 17 in the class, it was okay. When I was studying mathematics, there were one or two subjects where the teacher was expecting something from me. That was what I see. He was not inspiring me, but he thought that I was good.
Okay.
And he developed an expectation about my performance.
Again, like B.K. Shah created.
And I felt bad not to live up to that expectation.
Right.
So I started doing something to see that that man is not disappointed. In fact, I remember in my chemistry, my lecturer in Vivekananda College, on Alladi Ramachandra, he called me, gave me the paper. I said, you look so intelligent. How did you not do better than this? You could have done much better. That was something which, poor man, he expects something from me. Let me not disappoint me. Thereafter, I started studying chemistry better and performed very well.
Right.
And I did perform very well, not to give myself satisfaction, in order to make the other man feel less disappointed about the outcome. He has no business to expect anything from me, but he did expect something. Okay, you feel bad not to live up to that expectation to some extent. This happens to all human beings, I saw.
Sure.
That's why Mr. B.K. Shah's way of dealing with people could be a good management team, a management tool. You don't blast your people that your performance is bad. But you try to convey to them that you expect much more from them. You are capable of doing much better, genuinely.
Right.
I mean, these things cannot be communicated if you are not very genuine.
Absolutely.
So if you genuinely feel that this person could do much better, and if you communicate to him, his performance will be better. Then when blasting, then by doing blasting, you did not do well, other fellows have done much better. Last time you promised this much, why are you? That kind of an approach, which you see in most of the review meetings and
Sure.
management situations. Mr. B.K. Shah, in fact, used to tell in his review meetings, which were very few. I might have been in 3 or 4 review meetings of Mr. B.K. Shah. He would say, in fact, very interesting. So I can talk about Mr. B.K. Shah. In our meeting, he asked me, he said, so I was a mathematics fellow, okay. He asked me, I was one of the branch managers. He said, this year you have done 5 lakhs of rupees premium, you see. How much are you going to do this year, coming year? I said, we will do 50% increase, we will do 7.5%. Then he said, if Anantapur branch is going to do 15 lakhs, you will do 7.5, how much will you do? Being a mathematician, I said, I made a guarded statement. I said, if Anantapur can do 15, we will do 20 lakhs. But the emphasis was not on if Anantapur can do 15 lakhs. I meant that. Because I knew, if that branch can do so well, these fellows, our team can do much better. He said, okay, 25 lakhs should be your budget. He also would say, did I ask you as to what you promised last time and what you achieved? No. I have moved away from history. I am not interested in history. I am interested in future. I am not going to ask you if you tell me that 25 lakhs of rupees and if you do only 2 lakhs of rupees. I am not going to ask you as to why you have promised 25 lakhs and did only 2 lakhs.
Just increasing the scale.
I said, let us look at it this year. Last year is gone. This year, what do you think you will be able to do? That kind of an approach. It came very naturally to Mr. B.K. Shah because he became a CEO of New India. He was an actuary and all that. Maybe because he was an Indian actuary, I think he replaced an Englishman in New India Insurance Company when it was a life and general insurance company. And he became the CEO when he was hardly 38, 39. I don't think he would have become a CEO if he had not been an actuary. That's another thing. But I don't think he was running the company as an actuary. He was running the company as an extraordinarily gifted CEO. And New India was growing in all directions extremely well. People creating, that was what he did.
Okay.
Out of New India came about 7 or 8 outstanding people who would have run any business well. And they wouldn't have blossomed into that kind of people if they had had a different kind of an environment and a different kind of a leadership which would have created that environment. That way, these are all things which I wouldn't say are learnings. I don't think that would have in any way influenced my way of doing things. I don't think so. Because that would be a very conscious thing.
Okay.
That you realize, take a few lessons
and
then start applying here. No, it wasn't like that. It might have had an influence on the way I talk to people, in the way I conceptualize. It could have been. But how much of it is part of my own personality and how much was the influence?
That is what I was trying to say. The takeaways from whatever little you have told about your past experiences and inspiration, or the combination of genes and inspiration. Actually, I was coming to the same point in terms of I have observed, and I have really been, say, from 88 even till today, whether you like it or not, there is some combination of inspiration which I have taken from you.
Possible.
I have really absorbed a lot of your qualities with a lot of conviction and a great feeling why I can't be somewhere nearer to RT. So in that sense, I was just trying to observe the points. The takeaways from what you are saying is, first is to be human. Second is to really be positive or somewhere kind of a motivating to others in terms of what they can do better in life. As Atmartama, that is, you are feeling from that's what I'm saying.
You should be able to see.
See, that is where I have seen you enough of doing that. And also, in our organization, because of your attitude, of this attitude at a very early age, I think people used to love meeting you. I love to spend time. You used to even joke, I'm not a Swamiji giving prasadam and at best I can do that. But literally, people accepted you as a guru or call it as a nice interaction.
Some of them did. I wouldn't say everybody did that.
No, that is where I'm saying that could be the 7 best managers today, the executive directors today, the managing directors today of this organization. Where
I would say they would have been the best managers. Even
yeah, I know. As you are saying, B.K. Shah, Pakalan Nano, you would have also been somebody. So I'm only saying the trigger points by you where the humanness and ability to take the best out of people, I'm not putting it as a deal, but I'm saying ability to identify goodness in people. And
I would ask you this.
Yeah.
Who inspired Mr. B.K. Shah to be B.K. Shah?
We have to ask BK sir. We don't know.
There wasn't anybody. He never talked about any person who had.
No, nobody would have asked him.
Spiritually inclined. That was
Okay.
his personality. He was spiritually inclined.
Okay.
To probably study Bhagavad Gita and things like that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he never talked about any leader because he would have, as an actuary, you are generally not being influenced by any human being. Actuaries are very mechanical people,
Sure.
mathematical people.
Right.
So Mr. Vikesha, I imagine, in his early days, would have been only focusing on his actuarial responsibilities rather than looking at human beings or even deriving some kind of a knowledge from the human beings who were interacting with him, above him. But then he became a great leader. Again, Gandhiji's life, you study Gandhi, who was inspiring Gandhiji? It was in him. He might say his mother had told him some stories, so many mothers tell so many stories to so many people. But Gandhiji was different.
But Gandhiji himself was saying, Bharatiyara nalla paathukunga is a great man.